Hey, and welcome to this video. My name is Nina. Then we have Teddy joining us today. Welcome to the final tour of Oatmeal 2.0, which is our wilderness inspired by the Uncharted games meets kind of ruined, abandoned little village. And I think actually I'm not going to waffle on for much longer because we have a lot to explore. As you can see, we are currently at resident services. And we have a little pipe there, which I'm going to flop my little buttock into in a second. But I just wanted to show you, these are the gifts. If you were to wake up and dream of this island, these are the gifts that you can take and grab and have a little cheeky look at them. You know, I'm not going to spoil anything. So we're going to flop into this little pipe, which is going to take us straight to the airport. And then we will start the tour. Alrighty, so as you can see, we just plunked ourselves out of that beautiful little pipe and we are at the airport. Now this flag is just a custom design. All of the custom designs are on my website that is linked below, by the way. I just kind of plonked that there last minute because I thought it was very nice. I couldn't really find anything fitting and I didn't really feel like doing my own flag again, which I usually do. But yeah, actually I don't have much more to say. Let's just pull out our little map and I'm going to show you the interesting map that we have for Oatmeal. It is truly something. As you can see, almost the entire island is completely covered in in-game pathing. That is because obviously we are located in a little desert, so I used a ton of the dirt pathing, which I'm really done with. Oh god, which is also why this is going to be the last iteration of Oatmeal. So if you want to grab the dream address that you can see at the bottom of the screen right now and tour along with me, you can do so. But for the villagers, we have myself and we have Renee, Shep, Teddy, Kat, Wart Jr., Kevin, Wolfgang, and Fang. Now a couple of them are still from the first iteration of Oatmeal, and I'm speaking of Teddy, Renee, Wolfgang, and Fang. That is because I would have liked to replace them, but they didn't really want to leave, and I love them too much to just throw them out like that. So they are here, and they are thriving. So we're just gonna do the same and plonk right in, shall we? Also, I'm in a very weird mood today, so you will have to excuse me if I'm a bit strange. So yeah, that is that. But this is the entrance, my love. This is the entrance. You can see we have a bit of a desert going on, a very lush one, to be honest. But I'm really enjoying this. And I also placed a bunch of these puddles. You will see them throughout the entire thing, which may not make too much sense to you, but I will probably flop out the inspiration that I found because I saw a picture of these like reddish kind of desert looking rocks and they had these like dark turquoise little puddles, and I thought we could just grab some inspiration from that, you know. We should just do that. But yeah, we are just going to wander through this desert. As you can see, there's a little mountain in the back that we're not going to take the closest look at because it's looking a bit awkward with the termite mounds in front of it and around it, but I just had to make do because in Animal Crossing the cliffs are not the cutest thing in the world, you know. But we're just going to take this stroll through here, and I am not sure why these ants are not here because I didn't walk through them, but usually we would have some ants spawning here from the little dropped rotten turnip that we have there. But we're going to ignore that and we're just going to head up onto this cliff, which is a bit awkward, but I wanted the section to be sectioned off that we're going to explore right now because we have a little kind of spring right here, kind of like a secret magic little spring lagoony feeling thing. All the beaches are blocked off, even though I said I wouldn't. You could technically go up on this little thing and squeeze through, but there's nothing on there except for houses, flowers, and like veg and stuff. So nothing to explore on that. But I really like how this looks with the waterfalls in the back. This was the last build that we did on stream, And that is kind of fitting, because if we would hop back up here, we're not going to look at the cliff to the left. We're not going to look at all to the left because there's nothing there. But this leads us to the last build that we had for this island. Kind of another walkway through the desert again, obviously. But it is leading us to a Fata Morgana kind of oasis. So this is supposed to be like the myth of a Fata Morgana. And it's just little sectioned off little island that is completely inaccessible. You cannot get up there because, again, it's supposed to be a myth. So if you would get too close to it, it would probably disappear. And you can also spot some like taller trees in the back, because that is where the not really jungly bit starts, but the more dense kind of savanna thingy that we have going on. And then we just have some more desert decoration. I honestly can't talk too much about this because it's just a bunch of flowers and potatoes. Oh no, I have an overgrown flower here. I didn't even see. Well, the dream address is already saved and I can't be asked to do that again, because I have a couple of fruit trees that I had to shake, and that would mean that I have to shake them again, because you can only update your dream address once a day. And I'm not going to do that one more time because I already did it 3 times. But we have a bunch of potatoes. You will see them throughout the entire island, because I felt like they kind of went well with the color scheme that we have going on. And I thought it was nice to plonk them throughout, because I would usually use pumpkins, but I just really like the little green bit in the top, at the top of them. So that's exactly what we did. And this kind of leads us into a tiny canyon. Now this is looking a bit awkward, but it's kind of serving the purpose that I wanted it to. It kind of looks like somewhat of a little canyon thingy that leads you into the little overgrown jungly bit. That isn't really a jungle, because it still feels pretty much like a very like deadish desert kind of. And here we have the only forking path on this island, because this is a one-way island, so you only have one way to explore. You could also just explore it from resident services without hopping in that pipe. There's a very, very small chance you're going to miss anything, because again, only one way, which is probably also why this is going to be a very short tour, because there's not too many parts to go, you know. And we're going to explore what lies behind this, kind of what you can see there with the ruins in a second. But we're just going to walk through this little incline, which is going to lead us again into the more denser savanna looking thing with like more trees and some cave items, because I wanted this to look like you would kind of go through a little canyon again, kind of. And we're going to squeeze through there in a second, because that is where my house is located, which isn't decorated. It still has the same decoration from the last island, because I just couldn't be asked, to be honest. I love this island, but I'm happy to move on. But we have a little cave here with a ruined arch in front of it, which I really like. I just kind of like how that looks. We're also going to ignore the crops that I'm still storing on that beach, because I want to take them over to the next island. And we have a little fake lake down here, which I kind of like in front of the cave for some reason. I just had that image in my mind, and I thought that would be a nice little way to fill this area, because this was one of the areas that I speed ran over the weekend, because I just wanted to be done. But here we have the house with, again, some very simple decoration just to fill the space, keep it natural, but make it feel like someone might have lived here at one point. So just a few man-made items, if that makes sense. And we're just going to walk through here again and all the way back. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit, because we've already seen all of this, but we have a ton of the bunnies. I didn't even comment on that. We have a ton of the bunnies. And now we could either go down here to check out these ruins, or we could waffle through here again. And this is just another way, because we have a double incline here that kind of sections off this little jungly bit with this lookout from the actual like ruined temple thing that we have going on, again with our favorite gyroids around, with our little twitchy boy and the little, what did we call him? Because this was the collab that we did with Gina, aka Nymphina. So this is inspired by one of her builds, which was a gyroid rock garden kind of temple vibe. And here we have the little like shriveled boys up there again. And this is just a temple with this little statue and a pond back there just to give some kind of oomph to that rock back there. And then we just have a little tombstone in here, nothing special. You can't go through there. Where you can go though is to the right here, which leads you to a little transition area with just some very, very simplistic beach decor, because again, this was the very, very last area that I just did right before we finished this, because again, very done with this island, but again, we had to do all the transition areas as well. And this leads us into probably my favorite area of this island, which is the museum that I completely hid behind these items. And you even get a very, very nice view of this if you head up this incline and over that bridge like we just did. And over this bridge, now if I pulled out my camera, you can see the museum back there. And I just really, really like also how the river is running kind of in that little three ways that it kind of takes, and the two bridges. And I just really like how this flows and how it kind of transitions between the city that we're going to explore in just 1 second and the more like desert bit that we just checked out. So this is probably my favorite view that we have on the island. But we're just gonna plonk in here and head up here. You can see Mr. Shep down there singing to his little busted radio like a sweet little baby that he is. And we have some roof decorations, and down there we have Kevin's house. There is a little ladder so you can check it out, you can visit him, but there's nothing else there that we can't see from up here, so I'm not going to go down there. But we're going to go back down here and sneak through this little alleyway. Again, we get a nice little view of that area that lies behind it and the river that runs through that. And then we have the little pirate cove area. So we have a little transition area, and there you can already see the little clock tower peeking through that I'm going to show you in just a second. And this is the pirate cove, a very simple area, but I'm still very happy with how this looks because it just covers the fringes of the island and makes it a bit more natural, because we are about to head into the kind of heart of the city of this island, and we have a little pottery shop greeting us into the city. Again, some overgrown beaches that are not supposed to be overgrown in that way, but we're gonna ignore my little flower storage because we are not here for that. But if we head through this little archway, we are already entering one of the last islands. We are already entering one of the last areas on this island, which is the main kind of street. And up there you can see the clock tower. It is a bit of a shame because you would usually get a much better view of this clock tower from up above, but for some reason isn't working because of the lag. You will see in just a second what I mean. But we just have some like more natural decor with some barrels and some stuff that could look like there might have been shops here. When this island was still, you know, bustling and like just full of life, but now it's obviously completely abandoned and overgrown and just not really usable anymore. And we just have a ton of these buildings, and I just really love all the brown tones so much. It was so much fun to play with those on this island because that is very much my aesthetic in real life, more neutral kind of colors. So it was very nice to kind of play with that a bit more compared to what I usually try to do with my islands. So I usually try to go for a bit more of a color. And there you can see the clock tower and everything disappearing from here on out because there are just too many items. So sadly, the view that we would get from up here of the clock tower doesn't really work. Why did I just pull up my ladder? When I built this, I did film a little clip and took some pictures where you could still see the clock tower, so I'm going to insert that right now. But you can still get a very nice view of the city that lies underneath of us. And the peninsula is just completely empty except for the little boats that I included in a little car, a kind of abandoned, broken down, damaged car, to transition over that little building that we see to the right with the car in front of it, because that is supposed to be a little mechanic's garage shop thingy. But yeah, we're just gonna head down here again and down this little incline and into the first area that we built on this island. And this is probably my second favorite area that we have, because I just really like how the buildings are shaped here, and the mix of all the buildings with the Azumaya gazebo kind of leading you into a not very usable courtyard. But I just really like how that looks with, like, you know, some more man-made items, but still very natural. And again, the colors, I just love them so much, and it was so much fun to design with them. And some more morbid things. And also this beach is completely blocked off again. Now we can spot some houses, but we will ignore them. Thank you. I could not move them anywhere else because we didn't have any other space or spots for them. So they sadly had to stay there, creeping into the view. That's just what you gotta do if you don't like designing with buildings. And yeah, but if we would sneak through this little alleyway pathway thingy, you can already see that we are greeted by Teddy again, who's checking out the gifts that are not for him but for you. And we are already at Adresses again. So this was a very short tour again. I feel like because I have been doing these kind of more one-way islands in the past, my tours are always a bit shorter because there's not too many angles that we need to explore or like walk through twice. But I'm just really happy. Let me get a nice shot maybe through this little archway where I'm going to leave you in. But thank you so much for joining me today for this tour. I'm very excited for the next island that we're going to do. Also, I would like to say that there won't be a stream on Thursday because I completely forgot to say that I have a kind of post-surgery checkup on Thursday, so no stream then. We will see each other live again on here next week, next Thursday. But I will be back here on Friday with hopefully the first build on the new island, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, apart from that, thank you so much for watching again. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I will also be live on Twitch tomorrow, probably working some more on the other time travel island that we're doing. So if you'd like to join me there, very welcome to. And I am going to see you next time. Take care of yourself. Until then, bye-bye.